I stare at my reflection in the bridal suite mirror, fingers trembling as I adjust the delicate veil. In exactly 17 minutes, I'm supposed to walk down that aisle and become Mrs. Parker Hernandez. But first, I have a bomb to detonate. My name is Maya, and I've spent 30 years being the family disappointment, the quiet one, the less successful sister, the daughter who could never quite measure up to perfect, precious Marlowe. 5 minutes until we start, sweetheart. Mum's voice carries through the door, sickeningly sweet. The same voice that told me last week I should be grateful. Marlowe even agreed to be my maid of honour, given how busy she is managing Dad's estate. Dad's estate. The thought makes me clench my fists, creasing the crisp paper hidden beneath my bouquet. 6 months ago, at his funeral, Marlowe stood at the podium delivering a tearful eulogy while I sat in the second row. Not the first. Mum insisted Marlowe's friends needed those seats. He would have wanted it this way, she'd said, patting my knee dismissively. But Dad wanted something very different, didn't he? The proof is right here, burning a hole in my bouquet. A soft knock interrupts my thoughts. Maya? It's Thea, my best friend and actual maid of honour. You okay in there? I open the door, pulling her inside quickly. Show me the video again. Thea pulls out her phone, playing the footage she secretly recorded 3 weeks ago. There I am, in Dad's study, reaching behind his old collection of leather-bound books, finding the envelope, reading the real will, the one naming both his daughters as equal inheritors, not the fake one Marlowe and Mum's pet lawyer Tamara pushed through probate. You're really doing this? Thea whispers, squeezing my hand. I nod, remembering Marlowe's face when I confronted her privately, the mask of perfection cracking just enough to reveal the snake beneath. You're lying, she'd hissed, shoving me against Dad's desk. That will is a fake. No one will believe you over me. They never have. She was right about that last part, but not anymore. Maya, Mum's voice again, sharper now. Everyone's waiting. I slip off my heels, replacing them with nude flats hidden under my dress. Can't risk actually tripping when I stage my fall. Coming, Mum, I call back, voice honey sweet. Thea raises an eyebrow, and I give her a small nod. She knows her role. Let the show begin, I whisper, gathering my skirts. Mum fusses with my veil one last time in the church anteroom. Try not to slouch, dear, and remember to smile. Marlowe says the photographer she recommended is one of the best in the city. Of course she did. Marlowe probably got a kickback for the referral, just like she's been skimming from Dad's accounts for years. The wedding march begins. Through the heavy doors, I can see Parker waiting at the altar, handsome and nervous. He deserves better than this spectacle, but he understood when I explained everything. Just tell me what you need me to do, he'd said, holding me close. The doors open, everyone stands. I begin my walk, head high, clutching my bouquet with its hidden cargo. Halfway down the aisle, I spot Marlowe in her perfectly fitted bridesmaid dress, whispering loudly to Mum's friend, God, I hope she doesn't trip. You know how clumsy she can be. 3 more steps. 2. 1. I let my ankle wobble. The gasp from the crowd is authentic as I stumble, dropping to one knee. The bouquet falls perfectly, papers scattering across the aisle. Oh my God, Maya! Marlowe rushes forward, face a mask of concern, but I'm already standing, smoothing my dress. I'm fine, I announce clearly, bending to retrieve not the flowers but the documents. Actually, I'm better than fine. I have something to share with everyone. I turn to face the confused guests. It's Dad's real will, the one Marlowe and Mum tried to hide. In the front row, Tamara Dixon goes pale. She wasn't supposed to know, she blurts out, then claps a hand over her mouth. The silence in the church is deafening. And in that moment, for the first time in my life, every single eye is on me. instead of my sister. The priest steps forward, hands raised placatingly. Perhaps we should take a moment to— What exactly are you implying? Marlowe cuts him off, her voice carrying through the church. She's using that tone, the one that makes everyone want to apologize just for existing. I hold up the papers, letting them catch the light streaming through the stained glass windows. I'm not implying anything. I'm stating facts. Dad left a second will, the real will, and you knew about it. Mum surges up from her seat. Maya, stop this nonsense immediately. You're embarrassing yourself. Am I? I turn to face the guests. 3 months before he died, Dad updated his will, equal shares to both daughters, but somehow that version never made it to probate. Instead, we got the old one, everything to Marlowe with a small gift to his younger daughter. Whispers ripple through the pews. I catch fragments. Always seemed strange. Poor Tyrell. That house in the Hamptons. This is ridiculous, Marlowe laughs, but it's forced. You're having some kind of breakdown. Parker, say something. Parker moves to stand beside me, his hand warm against my back. I think everyone should hear what Maya has to say. Tamara starts gathering her things, edging toward the side door. This is inappropriate. We should— Sit down, Tamara, I command, surprising myself with the steel in my voice. You definitely want to stay for this part. She freezes, then slowly sinks back into her seat. Maya? Mum's using her warning voice now. If you continue with these accusations— They're not accusations when I have proof. I hold up my phone. Like this voicemail Dad left for Tamara the week before he died, the one she supposedly never received. Marlowe's perfect smile cracks slightly. What voicemail? I press play, and Dad's voice fills the church. Tamara, it's Tyrell, just confirming you received the updated will. Make sure both girls get their share if anything happens to me. Marlowe's had enough advantages. Time to make things right. The colour drains from Mum's face. Thea, bless her, is filming everything on her phone. That's clearly edited, Marlowe sputters. Mum, tell them. But Mum's looking at Tamara, who's shrunk into her expensive blazer. You told me he never finalised it, Mum hisses. He wasn't thinking clearly, Tamara mutters. Marlowe said— Shut up! Marlowe's composure finally shatters. She lunges for the papers in my hand, but I step back, letting her momentum carry her forward. She stumbles, catching herself on a pew. Careful, sis, I say sweetly. Wouldn't want you to trip. The priest tries again. Perhaps we should continue this discussion privately. No, I cut him off. I'm done with private discussions and family secrets. Dad wanted this made right, and I'm making it right. Here, now. You ungrateful little— Marlowe starts, but Parker steps between us. I suggest, he says quietly, that everyone take a breath. These documents will need to be verified, of course. But given Tamara's reaction, all eyes turn to Tamara, who's now crying silently into her Hermes scarf. I have copies, I announce. For everyone. Check your emails. They should be arriving right about— A chorus of notification chimes fills the church. You can't do this, Marlowe whispers, but the threat in her voice is gone. You have no idea what you're doing. Actually, I do. I turn to face her fully. I'm breaking the golden rule, aren't I? The one you and Mum drilled into me since childhood. Maya doesn't make waves. Maya stays quiet. Maya accepts what she's given. Maya's getting married, Parker adds firmly, unless she'd rather postpone. I look at my almost husband, seeing the love and support in his eyes. No, I decide. I'm not letting them ruin this too. But first— I face the guests again. Anyone who'd like to stay for the ceremony is welcome. Anyone who needs to make urgent calls to their lawyers might want to step out now. Mum and Marlowe exchange panicked looks. Tamara's already halfway to the door. Oh, and Marlowe, I call after my sisters retreating back. You might want to call your bank. I hear they get nervous when secret loans against inheritances suddenly come into question. The heavy church doors slam behind them, and I turn back to Parker with a genuine smile. Now, where were we? The reception at Mum's estate feels more like a war room than a wedding celebration. Half the guests have left, citing family emergencies. The other half are clustered in whispered groups, phones out, frantically Googling inheritance law. You always were dramatic, Mum says, cornering me by the chocolate fountain. Just like in high school when you quit the debate team because Marlo was captain. I quit because you made me give her my research for every competition. The memory burns fresh. 16-year-old me watching Marlo win with my words while Mum beamed from the audience. She was better at delivering the arguments, Mum sniffs. We were helping you. Like you helped hide Dad's real will? Before she can answer, Thea appears with a stack of papers. Found these in your father's study, she announces. Interesting reading. Mum's face tightens. You have no right to go through private papers. Actually, as co-heir to the estate, I have every right. I take the papers, scanning quickly. Look at this, Parker. Receipts for jewellery, designer bags, all purchased with estate funds after Dad died. Care to explain, Mum? Your sister needed to maintain appearances, she says stiffly, for the business. The business she's running into the ground. I pull out my phone, showing her the stock reports. Down 40% since Dad died. Funny how that coincides with all these personal expenses. A commotion at the door draws our attention. Graham, Dad's oldest friend, strides in looking flushed. Sorry, I'm late. Traffic was hell. He kisses Mum's cheek, then turns to me with a broad smile. Congratulations to both my daughters on this wonderful day. The room goes silent. Mum's glass slips from her hand, shattering on the marble floor. What did you just say? I whisper. Graham's smile falters. I meant both of Terrell's daughters, of course. But Mum's already backing away, her face ashen. Marlo appears from nowhere, grabbing Graham's arm. You're drunk, she announces loudly. Let's get you some coffee. I'm not drunk, he protests. Shut up, Marlo hisses, but it's too late. Memories flash through my mind. Mum's strange reactions whenever Graham visited. The way Dad would go quiet during those dinners. How Graham always gave me extra attention at family events while barely acknowledging Marlo. Susan? Tamara materializes, still looking shaken from the church. Don't say anything. Not here. But I'm already moving, pushing past them toward Dad's study, the one room Mum's kept locked since his death. Maya, stop, Mum calls after me. I have the key, found it weeks ago when I discovered the will. The door opens easily, and I head straight for his filing cabinet. You can't go in there! Marlo tries to grab me, but Parker blocks her path. The cabinet drawer slides open, birth certificates, medical records, and what's this? A DNA test, dated 15 years ago. Give me that! Mum lunges, but Thea's faster, snatching the paper and reading aloud. Paternity test results for subject Maya. Her voice trails off. Well, I demand, heart pounding. Thea looks up, eyes wide. Terrell's not your biological father. The room spins. I grab the desk for support, feeling Parker's arm around my waist. It doesn't matter, Marlo says quickly. The will isn't valid if you're not his real daughter. Wrong. Tamara speaks up, surprising everyone. Terrell legally adopted Maya at birth. I handled the paperwork myself. She has full inheritance rights. Mum sinks into Dad's leather chair, looking suddenly old. We never meant for you to find out. We? I look at Graham, who's standing in the doorway, face grave. Are you my father? He opens his mouth, but Mum cuts him off. No, he's not. Then who? That's enough. Mum stands abruptly. This wedding is over. Everyone out. No. My voice is steady, despite the earthquake in my chest. This wedding is just beginning, And so is the audit I'm requesting on the estate's finances. Marlowe goes pale. You wouldn't? Watch me. I turn to Parker, ready to get married in the garden instead. He squeezes my hand. Wherever you want. As we walk out, I hear Tamara's voice behind us. Susan, we need to talk about those offshore accounts. I smile. Sometimes revenge comes gift-wrapped in karma. You don't seem very upset about the DNA thing, Thea says, watching me sort through Dad's files the next morning. The garden wedding had been perfect, small, intimate, and completely Marlowe-free. Oh, I'm upset. I hold up another bank statement. But finding out Dad wasn't my biological father doesn't change the fact that he wanted to make things right in the end. That matters more than DNA. Parker brings in coffee, kissing my head. Found anything interesting? Besides evidence that my sister's been embezzling? Just decades of family lies. I pause at a photo. Mom, much younger, with a man I don't recognise. The back reads, Susan and Robert, Cabo, 92. 9 months before you were born, Thea notes, peering over my shoulder. My phone buzzes. Marlowe. Don't answer it, Parker warns. I put it on speaker instead. What do you want? To negotiate. Her voice is tight. Before you destroy everything. You mean before I expose how you've been stealing from Dad's company? Before you embarrass yourself, she snaps. You really think anyone will believe you over me? The troubled younger sister, always jealous, making wild accusations? Bank records don't lie, Marlowe. No, but they can disappear, just like certain other documents might disappear if you push this. Parker steps forward. Is that a threat? Stay out of this, Parker, unless you want everyone knowing about Atlantic City. My husband goes still. I squeeze his hand. Nice try, sis. Parker already told me everything about his gambling past. He's been clean for 5 years. Got anything else? Silence, then. Mum's having a breakdown because of you. Mum's having a breakdown because her lies are catching up to her? I shuffle through more papers. By the way, how's that loan against your inheritance looking now? The line goes dead. She's scared, Thea observes. Good. I open another folder and freeze. Oh my God. What is it? I pull out a birth certificate. Mine. Father's name, Robert Daly. Who's Robert Daly? Parker asks. No idea, but... My phone pings with an email. Anonymous sender. Subject line. Truth about your parents. The attachments are photos. Mum and Tamara meeting with a grey-haired man at a cafe. Recent photos from last week. The same man from the Cabo picture. That must be Robert, Thea whispers. Another photo. The same group, 20 years younger, with Graham and Dad, all smiling, all keeping secrets. A final image, a handwritten note. They all knew, every single one of them. Maya? Parker sounds worried. You okay? No. I stand up, grabbing my keys. I'm going to see Tamara. Want us to come? No, this I need to do alone. Tamara's office is empty, except for her secretary. Miss Dixon isn't in today, she says nervously. Or ever again, actually. She resigned this morning. Where is she? I'm not supposed to say. I pull out my phone, showing her the photos. Either you tell me, or I show the Bar Association evidence of her helping hide my father's will. 5 minutes later, I'm parking outside a small coffee shop downtown. Tamara's there, hunched over a laptop. Running away? I slide into the seat across from her. She jumps. Maya, I was just... Save it. Tell me about Robert Daly. The colour drains from her face. How did you... Birth certificate, photos, now talk. She closes her laptop slowly. It was complicated. Your mother, she and Robert had an affair. Graham knew. Your father knew. They all agreed to keep it quiet. And you helped. I was fresh out of law school. Your father gave me my first job when he asked me to handle the adoption paperwork quietly. She shrugs helplessly. And the will? Was that part of your debt to him too? No, she meets my eyes. That was for Marlowe. She promised to make me partner if I helped hide it. My phone buzzes again. Another anonymous email. More photos, recent ones of Mum meeting Robert secretly, and a message, "Want to meet your real father. He's ready to talk." I look at Tamara. Where is he? She writes an address on a napkin. Maya, be careful. Some secrets stay buried for a reason. Not anymore, I say, standing. Not a single one. The address leads me to an upscale restaurant in the financial district. Robert Daly sits at a corner table exactly as he appeared in the photos. He stands when he sees me, and for a moment I catch a glimpse of my own features reflected in his face. Maya, he says softly, you look just like your mother at your age. Funny, everyone always said I didn't look like her at all. I sit down, declining his attempt at a hug. Let's skip the small talk. Why now? He sighs, settling back. Because Terrell's dead, and your mother's lies are finally catching up to her. Did you know about the will, the theft, everything? I knew enough. He takes a sip of water. Your sister's been bleeding the company dry. Graham's been trying to stop her, but... Graham? I lean forward. What's his role in all this? He's been protecting you. We all have, in our own ways. Protecting me? I laugh bitterly. By watching me get pushed aside my entire life. By keeping you away from the corruption. He pulls out a folder. Your mother and Marlowe. They've been involved in things that would shock you. Tax evasion, money laundering. I know about the offshore accounts. That's just the surface. He slides the folder over. Open it. Inside are documents, bank statements, emails, a complex web of financial fraud spanning decades. Mum's not just covering for Marlowe, I realise. She's been running this scheme since before Dad died. Since before you were born, Robert corrects. Why do you think she married Terrell so quickly after our affair? My phone buzzes. Thea. Found something big. Check your email now. I open the attachment, a deleted voicemail recovered from Dad's old phone. Susan, it's Tamara. The SEC is asking questions. We need to move those accounts before... Oh God, is this recording? Delete this. That's from 3 days before your father's heart attack, Robert says quietly. The implications hit me like a punch. Are you saying... I'm saying your father was going to expose everything. The will naming you co-heir, that was just the beginning. Why are you telling me this? Because you deserve to know, and because... He's interrupted by commotion at the restaurant entrance. Mum storms in, Marlowe right behind her. What the hell do you think you're doing? She hisses at Robert. Telling my daughter the truth. She's not your daughter. Mum's voice rises, drawing stares. You lost that right 30 years ago. When you married Dad for his money? I stand up. Or when you started using his company as your personal slush fund? Marlowe steps forward. You have no idea what you're talking about. Actually, I do. I hold up my phone. The SEC might be interested in this voicemail, and these bank records, and... Enough! Mum slaps the phone from my hand. You ungrateful little... Mrs. Kent? A man in a suit approaches our table, flanked by 2 others. He holds up a badge. FBI, we need you and your daughter Marlowe to come with us. Mum goes pale. This is ridiculous. Who... That would be me. Graham emerges from behind the agents. I've been working with them for months, just waiting for the right moment. You bastard, Marlowe spits. No, he says calmly. I'm just finally doing what Terrell asked me to do before he died. Protect his real legacy. He looks at me. The daughter who inherited his integrity, if not his DNA. As the agents lead Mum and Marlowe away, Robert touches my arm. I know I have no right to ask, but... You're right, I cut him off. You don't. But thank you for the truth. It's more than they ever gave me. My phone buzzes again. Parker. You okay? I text back. Better than okay. It's finally over. But as I watch my mother and sister being escorted out in handcuffs, I wonder if anything is ever really over, or if justice is just the beginning of a different kind of story. They're offering a deal, Graham tells me over coffee the next morning. Your mother and Marlowe, in exchange for information about other players in the scheme. Of course they are. I stir my latte absently. Throwing others under the bus is practically a family tradition. The news has been running the story non-stop. Prominent business family in fraud scandal. Mum's perfect society image shattered. Marlowe's carefully curated social media gone dark. There's something else. Graham slides a letter across the table. Found this in Terrell's personal safe. It's addressed to you. My hands shake as I open it. Dad's familiar handwriting fills the page. Dear Maya, if you're reading this, I didn't live long enough to make things right. I was a coward in life, letting your mother and sister overshadow you. But I saw everything, your strength, your patience, your integrity. You're the one who should be running the company. The door chimes and Marlowe walks in, out on bail. Her designer outfit can't hide her exhaustion. Well, if it isn't the family whistleblower, she says, pulling up a chair uninvited. I'm not doing this with you, Marlowe. No, not even to save your precious Parker. I freeze. What are you talking about? She smirks, pulling out her phone. Remember his gambling problem? Turns out he had a relapse last week, right before your wedding. You're lying. Am I? She shows me security footage from a casino. Parker at a table, clearly agitated, pushing chips forward. That's from 3 years ago, Graham says quietly, before he got help. I checked the timestamp metadata. Marlowe's smile falters. Nice try, I say, standing. But Parker told me everything about his past. We don't have secrets. Unlike some families, Graham adds pointedly, you think you've won? Marlowe's voice rises. You think exposing us makes you better? You're nothing but a mistake Mom made with some random... That random man gave me something you and Mum never did, I cut in. The truth. The truth? She laughs hysterically. You want truth? Dad was planning to cut you out completely before he died. That second will, he signed it under duress. I have proof. No, you don't. Tamara appears behind her, looking tired but determined. Because I'm done lying for you, Marlowe. I've given the FBI everything. The original will, the recordings, the threats you made. Marlowe lunges for her, but Graham catches her arm. Don't, he warns. You're already facing 20 years. Don't make it worse. You're all going to regret this, she hisses, but there's desperation in her voice now. Maya, please. We're still sisters. No, I say softly. We never really were. You made sure of that. My phone buzzes. Parker sending a photo of our honeymoon tickets. Tomorrow we leave for 2 weeks in Greece. Away from this mess, this family, these lies. The board's meeting tomorrow, Graham says. They want you to take over as CEO. Marlowe makes a strangled sound. You can't. You don't know anything about business. I know not to steal from it. I gather my things. And I know Dad believed in me. That's enough to start with. Mum will never forgive you, she tries one last time. Mum will never forgive herself, I correct her. But that's not my problem anymore. As I walk out, Tamara calls after me. Maya, for what it's worth? Your father was proud of you. The real one, I mean. Terrell. I nod, feeling the weight of his letter in my pocket. I know, he finally told me himself. Outside, the morning sun feels different somehow. Cleaner. I text Parker. All done here? Ready for that fresh start? His reply comes instantly. Always, but only if you are. I look back through the cafe window. Marlowe sits alone now, her perfect world crumbling around her. For a moment, I almost feel sorry for her. Almost. I type back to Parker. more ready than I've ever been. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about destroying your enemies, it's about finally becoming who you were meant to be all along. 6 months later, I stand in Dad's old office, my office now, looking out over the city skyline. The company's stock has rebounded 40% since I took over. Turns out, honesty is good for business. "Miss Kent," my assistant pokes her head in, "your mother's lawyer is here." "Send him in." The lawyer, a nervous young man clutching a briefcase, enters. "Thank you for seeing me. Your mother would like to discuss a plea arrangement." "I'm not involved in the criminal case," I remind him. "That's between her and the FBI." "She's willing to return everything she took in exchange for your support at sentencing." I laugh. "Everything she took? You mean my childhood, my self-worth, or just the millions she and Marlowe stole?" He shifts uncomfortably. "There's something else. A letter." "Another secret, Will? More lies?" "No, it's from your biological father, written the day you were born." My hand trembles slightly as I take the envelope. "Why now?" "Your mother thought it might help you understand." I open it carefully. Inside is a faded photograph of Robert holding a baby, me, with a note attached. "I'll respect your choice, Susan, but I'll never stop loving her." "Get out," I tell the lawyer quietly. "But your mother, tell her she lost the right to manipulate me with family secrets a long time ago." After he leaves, Parker comes in. "You okay? I saw Mum's lawyer leaving." "I'm fine." I tuck the letter into my desk drawer, just tired of the past showing up uninvited. Speaking of uninvited, he hands me his phone. On the screen is Marlowe's latest Instagram post, her first since the arrest. It's a photo of us as children, with a long caption about family healing and seeking forgiveness. "She's trying to control the narrative," Thea says, walking in with coffee. "The trial starts next week. Let her try." I pull up the company's latest press release. While she's posting about healing, we're announcing the new charitable foundation, using recovered funds to support children of financial fraud victims. "Dad would have loved that," Graham says from the doorway. "He's been invaluable these past months, helping me navigate the business world." "Yes, he would." I stand up, smoothing my dress. "Ready for the board meeting?" "Actually," Thea interrupts, "there's something you need to see first." She pulls up a video on her tablet. It's security footage from the day Dad died. He's in this very office arguing with Mom and Marlowe. "You can't change the will," Marlowe shouts on screen. "We had a deal." "The deal was wrong," Dad responds. Maya deserves nothing." Mum steps forward. "After everything we've done to protect this family's reputation." "You mean protect your lies?" Dad clutches his chest suddenly. "I won't. I can't." They watch him collapse. Mum reaches for the phone, but Marlowe stops her. "Wait," she says coldly. "Just wait." I turn away from the screen. They let him die. "The police have the footage," Graham says gently. "They're upgrading the charges." My phone buzzes. A text from Robert. "Saw the foundation announcement. Proud of you, kiddo." I delete it without responding. Some doors are better left closed. "The board's waiting," Parker reminds me softly. I nod, gathering my papers. On my desk sits the family photo Dad always kept. Me, Mom, Marlowe, all smiling falsely for the camera. I turn it face down. "Maya?" Thea touches my arm. "You sure you're ready for this?" "I'm not that scared little girl anymore," I tell her. "I'm exactly who I'm supposed to be." As we walk to the boardroom, I pass the wall of previous CEOs. Dad's portrait hangs at the end, his eyes kind but sad. Soon my picture will hang beside his, not because I'm his daughter, but because I earned it. "By the way," Parker whispers as we enter the boardroom, "Tamara called. She's agreed to testify." I smile. Sometimes justice comes in waves, each one washing away another layer of lies. "Let's begin," I tell the waiting board members. taking my seat at the head of the table. Finally, exactly where I belong. The courtroom falls silent as the judge shuffles his papers. Mum and Marlowe sit at the defendant's table, both wearing prison-issued jumpsuits instead of their usual designer clothes. Before I deliver the sentence, the judge says, "Would any of the victims like to make a statement?" I stand, feeling Parker squeeze my hand. As I walk to the podium, Marlowe mouths "please" at me, but I keep my eyes forward. "Your Honour, I'm not here to talk about the money they stole or the lives they ruined through fraud. I'm here to talk about my father." Mum flinches. Good. The security footage showed them watching him die, choosing not to call for help because it was more convenient for their schemes. But that wasn't their first betrayal. I pull out Dad's letter, the real one, not the manipulated versions they tried to use against me. "My father wrote this the day before he died. He knew what they were doing. He tried to stop it, and they killed him for it." "Objection!" their lawyer starts, but the judge waves him down. The defendant's actions regarding Terrell Kent's death have already been established, the judge reminds him. "Continue, Ms. Kent. Growing up, I thought I was the family disappointment, the quiet one, the weak one, but I was wrong." I turn to face them directly. You were the disappointments. To Dad, to the company, to everything our name was supposed to stand for. Marlowe starts crying, but Mom stays stone-faced. "I'm not asking for mercy on their behalf," I tell the judge. "I'm asking for justice, not just for me or for Dad, but for everyone they hurt while building their empire of lies." Back at my seat, Thea passes me a tissue. The judge clears his throat. "Susan and Marlowe Kent, please rise." They stand shakily. "For the charges of fraud, embezzlement, conspiracy, and negligent homicide, I sentence you each to 25 years in federal prison." Mum finally breaks, collapsing into her chair. Marlowe screams something about appeals, but the guards are already leading them away. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarm us. "Maya, how does it feel to take over the company your sister stole?" "I didn't take anything," I tell them. "I earned it, and now I'm going to earn everyone's trust back." Robert approaches through the crowd. "Maya, can we talk?" "Actually, no." I hand him back the baby photo he sent through Mum's lawyer. "I appreciate you telling me the truth, but I already have a father, had a father, the one who chose me, even knowing I wasn't his." "I understand," he says quietly, "but if you ever need anything—" I don't. I turn to Parker, Thea, and Graham. I have everything I need right here. Graham hands me an envelope. "Found this in the office safe. Thought you might want it." Inside is a photo I've never seen. Dad and me at my college graduation, both beaming. On the back he wrote, "My real legacy." The foundation launches next week, Thea reminds me. The first grants go out to families affected by corporate fraud. "Dad would have loved that," Graham says. "He would have loved a lot of things," I reply, "like seeing his company run honestly for once." Parker checks his watch. "Speaking of the company, we have that meeting with international investors." "Actually," I say, "I think we deserve a break. Thea, call the pilot. Let's take the corporate jet somewhere warm." Using company resources for personal trips. Marlowe's voice echoes in my head, but this time I smile. "You're right," I tell Parker. "The meeting first. The beach can wait." Because that's the difference between them and me, between what they taught me and what Dad believed I could be. As we walk to the car, a young reporter calls out, "Any message for your mother and sister?" I think about Mum's manipulations, Marlowe's betrayals, all the years of lies. Then I think about Dad's faith in me and the truth that finally set us all free. "Just this," I say. "Sometimes the best revenge isn't about getting even. It's about getting better." Parker opens the car door, and I step into my future, not as anyone's daughter or sister, but simply as myself. Finally, that's more than enough.